I've heard you describe Liz here and Liz on court are almost different people.
No, they are. They're not almost.
All right, so who is Liz on court? Like, who is she compared to this?
She's a bitch.
Really?
Such a bitch.
How does that happen? Like, what's the transaction going on there?
I don't know. Beyonce calls her on-stage presence Sasha Fierce.
She's your Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, but like not as talented as like, shit. I was the first woman to slam dunk in the Olympic Games. I currently hold the highest points scored in a single game in WNBA history. And I also have the world record for professional losses in a row. Yeah, my resume is pretty sick.
First basketball memory. Where does it start for you?
I remember my mum waking me up one Sunday morning and being like, get out of bed. We're going to try basketball. I think I was 10 years old and I was really, really struggling to make friends. We tried Sea Scouts.
What is Sea Scouts?
So you know Scouts?
Yeah.
It's like Scouts but of the sea.
Did it have like a little like a neckerchief that was
Yeah.
blue?
Yeah.
God, I'd pay good money to see these photos.
No, it was beautiful. I hated it, to be honest.
Okay, well,
like, I was like a little fat kid in like this little navy outfit that did not fit me right. This is not good for my ego today. So that one morning, Mum took me down to Western Port Basketball Stadium. I hated it. I didn't know what I was doing running around a basketball court that early in the morning, especially on a Sunday. Dribbling the ball was one thing, but dribbling and trying to like move at the same time was like a whole nother level of a mess. So I was a mess. I actually fell over on Chapel Street the other day. Doing what? Just walking. But you know, my mum was like, once you get your first goal, I'll give you $10 and you can pick what movie you want to go to.
Bribery, I love it.
Yes, well it worked. Here we are today.
Totally
so
did.
Parents out there, just $10 in movies is how you turn your kid into a dual Olympian, I guess. If you hit that top right corner, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Usually like 90% of the time it goes in if you bounce it off that. So I'm 6'8" and I've been 6'8" since I was 16 years old.
When did you sort of realise that actually it was a weapon? Like, it was an amazing thing that not everyone else had?
Probably when I started getting really good at basketball. It was kind of like cheat mode in a video game. Like,
Just like, small children, bang.
literally, like it just had such a big advantage on everyone else. And helping little old ladies at the supermarket. I honestly feel like that's my true calling in life, is whenever I'm at the supermarket and someone's like, can you help me reach that? I'm like, yes, I can. I can do that for you, because that's what I was born to do.
Sorry.
Like, there's nowhere to go after that. Actually, on the weekends, I just head down to the, local court and verse all the 10-year-olds and just teach them a lesson or two.
Okay, so the image I'm getting is old ladies good, small children still some issues.
We've got to teach them the way of the world.
Right, and this is how we're doing it?
Yeah. I think you want a shot. No, you got this. Oh, it's beautiful! Ah! Yes!
Thank you.
Yes. You are now an opal. Welcome.
Taking ball, running away.
The WNBA draft was held today.
Rising Australian basketball star Liz Cambridge has packed her bags and flown out of Melbourne to begin her new life in the American big time.
Heading to Oklahoma as the new face of WNBA franchise Tulsa Shock.
Your first team playing overseas was in Tulsa. When you land, what's your very first impression of Tulsa?
It wasn't really my impression of Tulsa, it was what people told me I wasn't and was allowed to do. I was 19 years old when I got drafted to the WNBA. Because I'm mixed and I'm light-skinned, there was places I was allowed to go and there were places I wasn't allowed to go.
Like, as in actual segregation? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
This is not that long. I mean, really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's just, there's still places in America that are like that. And being raised white, I have a mum who's a CEO, and when she came over to visit, she wanted to have some meetings. And I remember she took me along to one of her meetings at the golf course. And I remember walking in and being the only person of colour and being looked at and stared at and knowing that I was only there because my mother had taken me. I was like, wow, this is still a thing.
How did that change the way you felt about yourself?
I never really saw myself as black or a person of colour until I moved to America. It was honestly a big awakening for me. Like, I would wear blue eye contacts at school. I had really blonde hair. Like, I fried my hair trying to dye it blonde and straighten it and all that. It was a few years ago I met Naomi Campbell and I literally cried in her arms.
About what?
She was literally the only black model I had to look at in fashion magazines growing up. And so that was like a lot of emotion coming out.
How did she react when you started bawling?
She held me. She held me.
I can't picture Naomi Campbell doing this.
She was so lovely.
Because that just breaks the whole brand of Naomi Campbell.
Yep.
Playing straight up by Cam Bayes, who goes around her and scores.
That's good execution with Liz getting the...
When people talk about ego, right, it's always talked about as a negative. Do you actually need a little bit of ego to be a good athlete?
Yes. You have to be so self-obsessed with driving and pushing yourself to be the best in the world. I play with the mentality that no one can stop me and no one ever will be able to stop me.
Do you ever have rage blackouts?
Yeah.
Like, are you just...
On court. On court is just like one big rage blackout.
And so when you go back and, like, as a team, you watch footage, you're like, I do not know what that lady's doing.
I try not to watch footage because I'm like, I did that, I'm sorry.
Cam Bayes launches the three.
Do you think the world judges aggressive women differently to aggressive men?
I didn't even have to finish that sentence. Yes. Women aren't meant to be aggressive. Well, this is what society thinks. Women are meant to sit there and, you know, be happy to be there. I should be happy that I'm playing the Olympics. I should be happy that I'm even in the WNBA. I shouldn't be making noise that I want more. The amount of messages and tweets and like comments I get daily whenever I say something about, you know, we need to change things so I can make more money when I play my sport, so I'm not playing at 365 and running myself into the ground. A lot of girls feel like they have to go to the WNBA, so it's on their resume, so they get good jobs in Europe, Asia, so they get paid more. So it's like a circle. It's like you have to be in the WNBA to get a good paycheck, and then you've got to go get that paycheck overseas, but then you've got to come back to the WNBA, get that on your resume, go back overseas, get your money. And somewhere in there, you've got national team duties. Yeah, circle of life.
The fact that the economics push you to work in multiple places around the world at once is one of the side effects of that sometimes athletes can then push their bodies perhaps beyond what they should be.
That's what happened to me last year. You know, I wanted to keep pushing and I wanted to keep playing because that's my money. Ended up with tendonitis and bursitis in my left Achilles. I haven't played basketball since October. You learn to push through pain as an athlete. It's a blessing and a curse.
There was a point at which you thought about quitting the sport altogether. Take me to that place. What's going on in your life that is kind of pushing you to that point?
I thought Rio Olympics was going to be my last Olympics. I was so done. The team was a mess, the coaching was a mess, we played a mess. I literally woke up the next morning and was like, I need to leave this Olympic village. And I got on a plane and I flew home and I pretty much just cut myself off from everyone. It all spiraled and, you know, I ended up having an existential crisis end of 2016 and I felt like I had no drive to even be alive anymore.
Instantly in this country, when you become a sports person, you are made to be a role model, which isn't necessarily the job that you signed up for. Do you think that transaction is fair?
There are female athletes out there that are so devoted to their sport and don't really have much going on other than their sport. And that's when people lose who they are and, you know, what inspires them and makes them creative. That's why so many, you know, athletes, when they're done with their careers, spiral. Like, I've seen a lot of Australian athletes spiral. And it's because we put so much pressure on them to be this footballer or this sprinter or this surfer, and they don't know what to do or who to be when their sport is done. I'm here and I'm getting ready to head back to the WNBA start of May and focusing on just like Tokyo Olympics. Yeah, that's my Everest, the top. top of Everest right now. Is this the end? I don't want it to be over.
You can keep going.
Do you want to work out?
Yeah?
Let's get shredded for stereo, man. Come on. That's why I'm in here every day. Just hoping that festival comes back and I'm ripped and jacked for it. They were my glory days.